Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It's good to know where people's perspectives are sometimes, you know? So thank you. I think we have everybody. Yep. So I'll call the meeting of the Fairview Park Board of Control to order at 6:34. Director Costello, if you could please take the roll.
Mayor Cooney,
Here.
Councilmember William Minnick,
Here.
Director of Law Riley,
Here.
Director of Finance Single,
Here.
and Mary Kay Costello, that is me. I am present also.
Okay, first order of business, they have minutes from from our last meeting.
January 25th.
Thank you. Those were distributed. If there are any amendments, please let us know. If not, I would accept the motion to approve those minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Councilman Minnick,
Second.
Director Single, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. Our first item on the agenda is Custom Truck One Source. Director Costello, if you could give us a little background on this, please.
Thank you. As you may recall, costs for renting this tree truck were approved October 12th, 2020 for $5,000, excuse me, $5,487. The original quote was for 2 months, and in the minutes of October 12th, we discussed a potential extension as weather would allow. And as it was, we did continue to work through to the beginning of December of 2020. So the additional fees that we would like to approve for that extra time, which was very beneficial for the city, would be $3,384.62, bringing the total authorized for the total rental to be $8,871.62.
Okay. Any questions regarding that item? If not, I'd accept the motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Director Riley, second, Councilman Minnick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the item's approved. The next item relates to Life Force Management, who does fees for ambulance and EMS collections for the city for 2021.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we're looking to approve fees to pay Life Force Management to coordinate our ambulance EMS billing collections. And the fees are $25,000. It includes services for billing, resolving disputes, and other administrative services. The 2020 collection for ambulance billing was approximately $261,561. And previous authorization for this collection of fees can be found in ordinances 93-2901- in 10-5. And, oh, I'm sorry, the one last item, residents are billed for costs covered in their insurance based on the level of service. So there's a basic or advanced, which involves critical care services. And so for this evening, we're requesting approval for the $25,000 fee for these services and collections.
It's an annual fee.
Yes, I believe so.
Actually, on that, Mayor and the members of the board, I think it's 6% of the amount that's collected.
Okay.
So that would be an amount not to exceed 25,000. If it would go over 25,000, then we'd have to come back to the Board of Control. So it's a monthly charge based on the actual collections.
Thank you, Director.
If there aren't any questions, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that one.
Okay. So the motion is to approve as explained by Director of Finance Engel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Items approved. Next item relates to the field turf at the high school stadium. Director?
Thank you. We're requesting approval for fees to assist the city with repairs at the football stadium for the turf. We have noticed a section of the football field that has developed a swale in the southwest corner near the field of play. And field turf will open up the surface layer of turf, allowing us to make our repairs and then come back and literally stitch back together that turf. These will also include a standard care visit that will have field turf raking, sweeping, and brushing the turf, and adding infill to high traffic areas. For example, there's an area where kickers usually stop, and there's a small divot there, so they'll attend to those small sections. They'll also make minor repairs where seams or inlay areas are loose, up to 8 minor repairs. These also include a large container of the rubber infill material for us to use for our maintenance, which will continue on throughout the season, and it wouldn't be limited to the one maintenance visit that field turf would do for us. And so the city's intention is to make the repairs for the area where the swale has occurred, allow field turf to make some additions to maintain the turf on a one visit basis. And this evening, we're requesting approval for the costs that total $5,980 for these services.
Any questions regarding this item?
I actually have one. Mary Kay, do you know if this is the area we've been having problems with in the past? Is it in the end zone? I know there have been issues. There's been an issue with the field
Yes.
turf and the swales. Is this the same area? And if so, how are we going to be guaranteed that it's going to be fixed? Because I'm thinking we may have paid to have it repaired previously. I may be wrong on that, but
No, you're right.
area or not.
The previous repair was made around the 30-yard line, between the 30 and the 50-yard line. This is in a new section. And what we suspect, we visited the field with our consulting engineers, and from what our personnel that were at that previous repair parlayed to me, there is an old drainage system underneath this new turf and the new drainage system. Cleanouts that come to the surface that were covered over have deteriorated, the caps have deteriorated, and they're allowing some of the infill to slowly seep into these pipes. This was something that was abandoned. We talked about filling it with grout or cement, and we just don't know if anything else is connected into this system. And we feel that just by filling it, there might be some old part of the middle school or high school that's connected somehow, a spout, a drainage of some sort. And we feel that we would unintentionally could cause flooding. This particular repair is in a different section of the turf where from the previous repair. There is another section in the end zone that we're watching as well. We anticipate having to make multiple repairs because of the infrastructure that was abandoned underneath the turf. So we will likely on an annual basis be making some repairs like this. I think it's inevitable. I like having field turf do a maintenance of the turf for us so that they can also have their personnel over every bit of this turf to let us know what trends they see and something that we might miss in our regular maintenance. Does that answer your
So they're-
question?
Yeah, so is this in the end zone then? This section that's being repaired?
This is in the
This one, yeah.
south, very south. It's not actually in the end zone. It's along the field of play at the end zone. There is another section of the end zone by the letters that we're watching carefully. So
Okay.
that might be something that we look at in the fall or spring of next year.
Are there going to be any more repairs this year on that turf?
This is the only one I'm planning. It's the only one that I think that could impact soccer or people or athletes. So this is the only one I'm planned at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions regarding this item? There being none, I would take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Director Riley, is there a second?
Second.
Director Single, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Items approved. Next item is United Survey, relates to some televising of sanitary and storm sewer lines.
Thank you. In our Board of Control meeting on October 26th, we approved United Survey being approved to televise in the city. Tonight, we're asking for an additional $5,800 to bring the total of televising charges to $14,800. They found as they were televising these sections of Cromwell and Parkwood and Bain that the storm sewers were difficult to clean due to debris, and it just took longer than the original quote. It's been a year of wind storms and a lot of debris being blown about literally in the city. And so that was something that we couldn't anticipate, but we completely understand United Survey is going to make those pictures of what they were cleaning available to us. I believe that they did do their due diligence to get this work done. And so therefore, I'm asking for permission to pay the entirety of the costs at $14,800.
Any questions?
I just have one question. This is not reimbursable by the Division of Water, is it, Mary Kay?
These costs are not, because I'm looking into our sewers to make sure that we don't need to make a repair that could delay production once the water line project begins. So no, unfortunately, these costs are not reimbursable.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? There being none, I would take a motion to approve this item with respect to United Survey.
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Minnick. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Riley, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Items approved. That was the last agenda item, correct, Director?
That is correct.
Okay, we'll take a motion to adjourn
So moved.
for Councilman Minnick, Director Single. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned at 6:48. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Aye.
How's everyone doing?
Cold.
Good. Hey, before we
Doing
get going,
well.
I got a text from Brian a second ago. He said he had a family emergency. Something came up, so he's not going to be able to make it tonight.
Oh no, I hope everything's okay.
I hope so too.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. I will be amending the agenda to add appropriations ordinance prior to starting the legislative agenda for this evening. Other than that, is everyone good with their legislation?
Yes.
Yes.
I am, but will you be adding that for first reading or for further?
For first reading.
Thank you.
Okay. That's all we have as far as legislation. Bill, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Maureen is now with us.
No, she's not gonna be here.
Sarah, anything?
No.
Bridget?
Yeah, Mike, I do have my report ready for tonight. I told Liz
Okay.
I didn't think I'd get home in time. It also is Greg Single still on the line?
I am here.
I was wondering if we could possibly be getting the budget books by Friday so we have a full week to go over them.
That is our intent, to send it up to Liz, have her take a look at it, and then get everything bound by the end of the week.
Oh, so your department doesn't do that?
In the past, we sent it up to Liz, and if I remember it, I think Liz is probably on the line. I thought Liz actually makes some modifications to it and then sends it back down, and then we take it to Kinko's or one of the printers and have it bound.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
Okay.
Is that how we want to do it this year? Is there, Liz, is there?
I don't, I mean, it's the formatting that I do is Excel. Is it just not something that Deanna can format, or it's the page numbers and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's fine. I'll make time to do it. It's not an issue.
No, yeah, I didn't realize, I didn't know what the formatting was. There was something special for, for archive purposes or,
Oh, no, it's just margins and page numbers and making it a book basically instead of just an Excel document. So it's just using Excel basically.
Okay.
Liz, now you did this last year, but you don't usually do this, right?
No, I've been doing it for a few years actually.
Okay.
But I didn't know when it was coming. Like, when will it be ready for me to work on it? I just want to work it in to be able to get it so that it can be formatted and get to the printers and everything Friday. So do you know when it'll be sent up?
My intention was to have it sent up tomorrow, as long as Deanna can make it into work, or if she can work on it from home. We can do it, Liz. I just thought there was something that you did on your end, and I can have Deanna work on it, and we'll take care of it if it's it's time consuming for you, or if it's if your schedule's booked this week.
It's not time consuming. It's just, like I said, it's using Excel. So, I mean, if she can do it, that'd be great. But if not, I can.
We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg. And if possible, could we have them so that we could pick them up by Friday? So that we'd have, because I would really like a full week to go over them before we meet on Saturday.
We will make every effort to have them to you by Friday.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's all I have.
Greg, do you have anything?
Kind of one just follow-up question. If we're picking these up on Friday, I'm not able to make it into City Hall during business hours. How are we going to get these, or can they be left at the police station, or what's the method of approach for that?
We could drop them off at your house if you want. We can make arrangements with however people want it, if they want to have them dropped off, or I think it's easier to have them dropped off than leave them at the police station. Just.
That'd be great.
As they're plowing the streets, they can drop it in the front door.
So Bill can attest too that at one time the police used to bring us the police used to drop us our legislation every Friday.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had a paper
Greg, if you
route.
can I'm sorry, Greg, if you can still send me the electronic version, just so I can post it, so council can at least, till they get the book, have it and just review in a raw format. I mean, I can probably format it somewhat for you guys to just, because I know the expenses and the revenue were two different files, so I can combine those and kind of make it available on Dropbox for council too, so you guys can kind of have it before hopefully Friday with the numbers till you get the book.
Will do.
Thanks,
So
Greg.
what-
Thanks, Liz.
Sorry, when it's ready, we'll email everybody and let us know what your preference is and how you want it delivered.
Thank you.
Thanks. Mayor, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, with regard to the budget, we're working on it. We're sorry we didn't get it up to Liz earlier. It was a challenge coming off of last year and trying to project revenues for departments that were closed for a number of months, and also with some expenses and projects that we were unable to do last year. So I know you need to do your duty and look at it, so we'll get it to you as soon as we can, and we'll keep you posted if there's going to be any changes on the timeline that we just talked about.
Thanks, Mayor. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Liz, did you have anything you want to say before we start the meeting?
If you have not filed your financial disclosure statement, get on it. It's due May 17th, I believe is the date. So there's still, Greg, I will be meeting with Bridget on Thursday. I don't know if someone's home to receive your surface, or how you want to, I can just leave it at the police department when you pick up your book, or how you want to do that. So just let me know.
Yeah, I guess just put it with the book. Get it in the same thing, and we'll figure it out.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Liz, thanks for putting together the time slots for the Diversity Coalition. A really good job. Very professional, as usual.
Thank you, Sarah, for the great idea of using Sign Up Genius, because I was worried that I would be influx with emails, but that is an awesome tool. So,
Thanks to PTA. They're the ones that really push it.
Yeah. Thank you too, Sarah. Very nice. Okay, well, we'll start the regular meeting in 3 minutes. All right, thanks, everyone. Yeah, do you know about that? All right, everybody. The regular meeting of the Council of the City of Fairview Park for Monday, February 15th, 2001 is now called to order. Have a moment of silent reflection. All right, would the clerk please call roll?
Mr. Simmerly, absent. Mr. Minnick,
Here.
Mrs. Adler, absent. Mr. Cobain,
Here.
Mrs. Waring,
Here.
Mrs. King,
Here.
Mr. Berger.
Here.
All right, the chair will now entertain a motion to excuse Councilman Simmerly from the meeting this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on the motion?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Cobain,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger.
Yes.
Motion carries. Councilman Simmerly is excused. Chair will now entertain a motion to excuse Councilwoman Adler from the meeting this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on the motion?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Cobain,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger.
Yes.
Carries. Councilwoman Adler is excused. We will now have this evening's committee reports, dealing with environment, public works, planning, zoning, and development. Councilman Minnick.
Thank you, Council President. The Environment, Public Works, Planning, Zoning, and Development Committee met on Monday, February 8th, 2021 at 7 p.m. via Zoom in City YouTube to discuss 3 ordinances. Members of Council, Mayor Cooney, Public Service Development Director Costello, Finance Director Single, and members of the public participated in the discussion. Ordinance 2101, authorizing plans and specifications for 2021 street repair program year 32. The ordinance is present on second reading is referred back to committee for amendments. Amendments are as follows. Entitled Remove Year 31 and insert year 32. First, whereas remove year 30 and insert year 31. Second, whereas remove Elmore Road, Eastwood Avenue to Corporation Limit and insert Eastwood Avenue, West 210th Street to West 204th Street. Remove year 31 and insert year 32. Section 1. Remove Elmore Road and insert Eastwood Avenue. Remove year 31 and insert year 32. Councilman Waring inquired if the street repair program is tied to the levy being on the May ballot. It was informed yes. Also, if we pass this legislation and the levy failed, Finance Director Single stated the funds are collected on a monthly basis. It would not impact this year, but would impact next year's street program. Motion to place this ordinance on third reading at the next council meeting, and the amendments made prior to passage was approved 7-0. Ordinance 2102, authorizing bid and award of contract for 2021 street repair program year 32. The ordinance is present on second reading was referred back to committee for amendments. Amendments are as follows. Entitled Remove Year 31, insert year 32. First, whereas remove year 30 and insert year 31. Second, whereas remove Elmore Road, Eastwood Avenue to Corporation Limit and insert Eastwood Avenue, West 210th Street to West 204th Street. Remove year 31 and insert year 32. Section 1, remove year 31 and insert year 32. Motion is places ordinance on third reading at the next council meeting, and the amendments made prior to passage was approved 7-0. Ordinance 2103, authorizing bid and award of contract for 2021 water line replacement projects. The ordinance is present on second reading and referred back to committee for possible amendments. After an inquiry of Public Service Development Director Costello and Council Clerk Westbrooks, no amendments are necessary. Motion to place this ordinance on third reading at the next council meeting was approved 7-0. The Environment, Public Works, Planning, Zoning, and Development Committee conclude at 7 p.m. This completes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Minnick. We will now have the Local Government and Community Services Committee report. Councilwoman Waring.
Thank you, Council President. The Local Government and Community Services Committee met on Monday, February 8th, beginning at 7:08 p.m. via teleconference. Present were members of Council, Mayor Cooney, Director Costello, and Police Chief Shepard. The committee discussed Ordinance 2107, which would allow the sale of alcoholic beverages at Summerfest 2021. This is an ordinance that has been passed in previous years, and there has not been an objection in the council or community. The police chief was asked if there was any concern over this in ordinance, and he indicated there was not. There was a concern raised that the ordinance might need to be revisited if the pandemic has not subsided prior to the event, as alcohol has been seen as a major cause of disregard for social distancing. Councilman Minnick indicated that the Summerfest committee is targeting June 1st as the deadline for deciding whether Summerfest should be canceled based on pandemic protocols. Mayor Cooney indicated that he is using Governor Mike DeWine's guidance for county fairs from the previous summer to structure this year's Summerfest event. A motion was made to place Ordinance 2107 on second and subsequent third reading. The motion passed by a vote of 7-0. The committee also discussed the issue of the city's response to systemic racism. We discussed the newly created Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coalition. The application deadline was January 31st, 2021. The city received 23 applications for the coalition, though one individual did remove himself from consideration. The chair recommended that the council interview all 22 applicants over the next few committee meetings. The administration and council agreed to joint interviews despite having their own appointees each. Council agreed to have 2 standard questions for each interviewee and allow for follow-ups. The mayor will have his own questions. It was decided that council should reconvene after the interviews have been concluded to discuss the applicants and come to a consensus. There was a suggestion from council that perhaps the coalition could be expanded beyond 9 members if needed. A motion was made to leave the city's response to systemic racism in committee, and the vote passed by 7-0. Local government and community services ended at 7:32 p.m. Thank you.
Councilwoman Waring. We will now have Finance Committee report. Councilwoman King.
Thank you, Council President. The Finance Committee met on Monday, February 8th, 2021 via telephone video conferencing and began at 7:32 p.m. In attendance were members of council, the mayor, members of the administration, and members of the community. Ordinance 2106, the TAC computer agreement for 2021 was discussed. The TAC computer has been the computer service used by Fairview Park Police Department. A few questions remained about the contract, and the mayor confirmed the amount of the contract and the dates of the contract. A motion was made to have this ordinance be placed on third read and final passage, and that motion passed with a vote of 7-0. Ordinance 2108, authorizing planning study by McKay Engineering for West 227th Street Lift Station. This ordinance will allow a study to determine the correct strategy, design, and construction of corrective measures for reoccurring sewer and flooding issues in the southwest part of Ward 5. A motion was made to have this ordinance on second and subsequent third reading, and that passed with a vote of 7-0. Ordinance 2109, repeal and replace Ordinance 2040. Ordinance 2040 was passed on 10/5/20 and listed the incorrect source of repayment. The correct fund for repayment is Fund 510, the Fairview Park Sanitary Sewer Fund. A motion was made to have this ordinance be placed on second and subsequent third reading, and that passed with a vote of 7-0. The Finance Committee concluded at 7:44 p.m. That concludes my report.
King. At the time, the chair will entertain a motion to amend the agenda to add an ordinance for first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to amend the agenda.
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Cobain,
Yes.
Mr. Cobain.
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Wood,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll now begin tonight's legislative agenda with legislation for first reading. Councilman Minnick.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to place an ordinance up for first reading.
Will the clerk please assign a number and read the title?
Ordinance 2110, requested by Mary Kay Costello, Director of Public Service and Development, sponsored by Councilman Minnick, co-sponsored by Councilwoman King and Councilwoman Waring. An ordinance authorizing McKay Engineering and Surveying Company to prepare plans and specifications and provide bidding services for the reconstruction of the West 227th Street Bridge over Coke Creek and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Ordinance 2110 is placed on first reading and assigned to the Environment, Public Works, Planning, Zoning, and Development Committee. Councilwoman King.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to place two ordinance up for first read tonight.
Okay, will the clerk please assign numbers and read the titles?
Ordinance 2111, requested by Mary Kay Costello, Director of Public Service and Development, sponsored by Councilwoman King. An ordinance authorizing emergency repairs and related costs regarding the City of Fairview Park sewer jet vehicle and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 2112, originated by Greg Single, Finance Director, requested by Mayor Patrick Cooney, sponsored by Councilwoman King. An ordinance appropriating funds for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Fairview Park, Ohio, for the period commencing January 1st, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Ordinances 2111 and 2112 are both placed on first reading and assigned to the Finance Committee. We will now have legislation for second reading. Councilwoman Waring.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to place ordinance 2107 up for second reading.
Will the clerk please read the title?
Ordinance 2107, requested by Councilman Minnick, sponsored by City Council. An ordinance amending section 921.05A3 of the codified ordinances of the City of Fairview Park to permit the sale of beer and wine coolers only to be sold and consumed at Summerfest 2021 to be held in Bolkin Park on July 29th, 30th, 31st, and August 1st, 2021, and declaring an emergency.
2107 is placed on second reading, second and subsequent third reading. Councilwoman King.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to place ordinances 2108 and 2109 up for second reading tonight.
Would the clerk please read the titles?
Ordinance 2108, requested by Mayor Patrick J. Cooney, sponsored by Councilwoman King, co-sponsored by Councilman Minnick and Councilwoman Waring. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with McKay Engineering and Surveying Company to conduct a planning study for reoccurring sewer flooding issues within the West 227th Street lift station area and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 2109, requested by Mayor Patrick J. Cooney, sponsored by Councilwoman King, co-sponsored by Councilman Minnick. An ordinance repealing and replacing Ordinance 2040 and authorizing the mayor and city administration to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Fairview Park for planning, design, and of construction of wastewater facilities / infrastructure, designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Ordinances 2108 and 2109 are both placed on second and subsequent third reading. It is now time for audience input on legislation that is up for passage. Is there anyone on the Zoom call that would like to comment on legislation that's up for passage this evening, or have we been contacted by anyone that has questions or comments? Westbrooks.
I have not received any requests, no.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we now will have legislation for third reading and final passage. Councilman Minnick.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to place ordinance 2101 on third reading and up for passage.
Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance 2101, requested by Mary Kay Costello, Director of Public Service and Development, sponsored by Councilman Minnick, co-sponsored by Councilwoman King. An ordinance authorizing McKay Engineering and Surveying Company to prepare plans and specifications and provide construction, administration, and bidding services for the repair of city streets in year 32 of the street repair program and declaring an emergency.
Prior to call for passage of ordinance 2021 or 2001, I'm sorry. Is there any discussion?
Council President,
Councilman Minnick,
thank you. I'd like to amend ordinance 2101. In the title, remove year 31 and insert year 32. First, whereas, remove year 30 and insert year 31. Second, whereas, remove Elmore Road, Eastwood Avenue to Corporation Limit and insert Eastwood Avenue, West 210th Street to West 204th Street. Remove year 31 and insert year 32. Section 1, remove Elmore Road and insert Eastwood Avenue. Remove year 31 and insert year 32. Thank you.
so moved. Have a second?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on the motion to amend?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Kilbane,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Motion carries. The ordinance is amended. Prior to call for passage of ordinance 2001 amended, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on passage of ordinance 2001 amended?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Kilbane,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Ordinance 2101 amended passes. Councilman Minnick,
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to place ordinance 2102 on third reading and up for passage.
clerk please read the title.
Ordinance 2102, requested by Mary Kay Costello, Director of Public Service and Development, sponsored by Councilman Minnick, co-sponsored by Councilwoman King. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Development to advertise for bids and the mayor to enter into a contract with the lowest responsive and responsible bidder as determined by the Board of Control for the work to be performed in year 32 of the street repair program and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Prior to call for passage of ordinance 2102, is there any discussion?
Council President,
Councilman Minnick,
thank you. I'd like to amend ordinance 2102. In the title, remove year 31 and insert year 32. First, whereas, remove year 30 and insert year 31. Second, whereas, remove Elmore Road, Eastwood Avenue to Corporation Limit and insert Eastwood Avenue, West 210th Street to West 204th Street. Remove year 31 and insert year 32. Section 1, remove year 31 and insert year 32. Thank you.
thank you. So moved. Have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on the motion to amend?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Kilbane,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 2102 is amended. Prior to call for passage of ordinance 2102 amended, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on passage of ordinance 2102 amended?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Kilbane,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
2102 amended passes. Councilman Minnick,
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to place ordinance 2103 on third reading and up for passage.
will the clerk please read the title?
Ordinance 2103, requested by Mary Kay Costello, Director of Public Service and Development, sponsored by Councilman Minnick, co-sponsored by Councilwoman King. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Development to advertise for bids and the mayor to enter into a contract with the lowest responsive and responsible bidder as determined by the Board of Control for water main replacements and pavement resurfacing on Cromwell Avenue, Parkwood Avenue, and Bain Park Drive, and declaring an emergency.
Prior to call for passage of ordinance 2103, is there any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll? Passage of ordinance 2103.
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Cobain, I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
Demi?
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
2103 passes. Councilwoman King,
Thank you, Council President. I would like to place ordinance 2106 up for third read and final passage.
will the clerk please read the title?
Ordinance 2106, requested by Mayor Incorporated and declaring an emergency.
Prior to call for passage of ordinance 2106, is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, will the clerk please call roll on passage of ordinance 2106?
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Cobain,
Yes,
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
2106 passes. That concludes our legislative agenda for this evening. We now have reports of communications from the mayor and his directors. Mayor Cooney, if you're ready.
Thank you, Council President Kilbane. I'd like to inform everybody that the work at NASA is continuing at a good clip. Assistant Building Commissioner Greer and Commissioner Maynard have been going up there on a regular basis, and we're happy to see that progress. There's also some activity there's going to be a new doctor's office at 19050 Lorraine Road. There's some work going on there, as well as at the former Lee Cleaners and law offices at 21430 Lorraine. So we're happy to see those projects moving forward. At the Senior Center, the Super Bowl of Soup is scheduled for Wednesday, February 24th. We've had about 25 signups, and we could have room for about 25 more. I'd like to thank the Hospice of the Western Reserve and Devoted Care. They're going to help pass out the soups. They're also going to provide the containers and some rolls to go with the soup on that day. So if the weather continues the way it's looking right now, that'll be very timely. They have some nice warm soup on Wednesday, the 24th. So if you're interested in that, please call the Senior Center to sign up. The virtual book club they did that last month. They're going to do it again this month. We have 15 participants. I'd like to thank O'Neill Healthcare for sponsoring that and donating the books to our participants. The book this month is The Book of Two Ways, and I understand it has a romantic theme to correspond with Valentine's Day this month. The vans are busy, partly because of interest in rides, but also because we're looking to hire another driver. So if you know somebody who's interested in being a part-time driver of the vans, please reach out to either me or Director Brandos. At the Gemini Center, the Recreation Department, we've been seeing a steady increase in visitors at the Gemini Center. That, you know, we saw an increase in January, which is normal with New Year's resolutions, but we've also seen that steady increase going into February. Starting March 1st, Silver Sneakers will be back at the Gemini Center. Details could be found at the Recreation Department's website. There will be no drop-ins. Anybody who wants to participate, they'll need to register in person, and they have to be a Silver Sneaker member or a Gemini Center member. And as we've been doing throughout the pandemic, we're monitoring to see the interests that people have, to see if there can be some changes to the programming. Social distancing will be required, and the capacity for the classes will be less than normal due to the pandemic. Youth sports sign up for volleyball and soccer is open through the end of this month. The staff at the Recreation Department are looking at Safety Town and summer camp. Again, those are going to be a little different than in the past, but they hope to have those programs moving forward. And as we have more details, we will pass those on to you. On March 1st, we're going to be swearing in Sergeant Bruce Mahalik will be promoted to lieutenant, and Patrolman Jeff King will be promoted to sergeant. And that will be on Monday, March 1st, and we congratulate both of them. And Chief Shepard has made 3 conditional offers of employment to 3 new officers, depending upon how they their physical exams with the physicians, but they will also be starting on March 1st, and we'll be swearing them in as well. There's Scott Stover, who is a Fairview Park resident. Scott's a Fairview grad. He interned with the police department last year and is currently an auxiliary. He's at Polaris Academy and will be graduating, I believe, in May. Zach Kugler, who's a North Ridgeville native, graduate of John Carroll, and Ray Titler, who is a native of Pennsylvania, recently moved here to Cleveland, who's a graduate of Gannon University. And Scott is a proud graduate of Bowling Green, Councilman Berger. So we have 3 college graduates that will be joining our police department. They're all majored in criminology, criminal justice, with minors in those fields. So we're excited to have them joining us on March 1st, and we wish them a safe long career here in Fairview Park. I want to let people know that the police department has been receiving a lot of unemployment scam police reports. Unfortunately, what they are doing is the police are taking those reports and then transmitting those to the Attorney General's portal. And I believe that the AG's office is handling most of those investigations. So I don't think that has anything to do with the fact that a person is here in Fairview Park. It really relates to, might have been some data breaches that they experienced, at their employer or some other source. So, so again, if you know someone who is a victim of that, I would encourage them to file a police report and let the AG's office follow up with that. The service department, This Wednesday, there's going to be an ODOT meeting regarding the West 227th project, which you considered earlier today. And we'll have some updates with for you with that in the near future. And finally, again, I appreciate people's patience with the budget. We'll be getting that more details to you on that here later in the week. And once you do get those items, if you have any questions, prior to the hearings, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you, Council President, and have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. Director of Public Service and Development, Costello.
Thank you, Council President. The City of Fairview Park has a street parking snow ban in effect until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. We just ask for everyone's cooperation as our plows are out there busy working all night long. And it is helpful to us to be able to safely and efficiently plow the snow. So thanks for everyone's participation and cooperation. Also, thank you to City Council for passage of our ordinances that allow us to pave and that allow us to make the water line improvements. We appreciate your support and we're looking forward to making those projects a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. I'm asked Director Single.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple items tonight. First, as the mayor stated, once you receive your budget books, if you have any questions prior to the meeting on Saturday, February 27th, please let us know. Also, beginning next Monday, the 22nd, February 22nd, the auditors will be on site. So the on-site audit procedures will begin effective next Monday. And that concludes my report tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Director. Director Riley.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening.
Thank you, Director. City Engineer Kerber.
Thank you, Council President Kilbane. Good news, we received the authorization to bid the West 210th resurfacing project from ODOT. We plan to advertise that on February 26th. We're just waiting for the DBE goal from ODOT. We continue to work on the plans for the waterline project. We completed the field survey work for the Bain Park restroom project, and we will be meeting with the supplier of that restroom to coordinate some work. And thank you. I would like to say also thank you for passage of the 2021 street program, and we look forward to getting started on that. That's my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Kerber. It's now time for our public session. Is there anyone on this Zoom call that would like to address council and the administration this evening? Liz, have we been contacted by anyone?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, we'll now have miscellaneous business and comments from members of council. Councilman Minnick.
Thank you, Council President. I have a Board of Control report consisting of 4 items and the Planning Design Commission agenda with 3 docket items. The Board of Control, which met this evening, first issue is a custom truck one source. Rental of a tree truck for service department use was approved on October 12, 2020 for $5,487. The original rental time of 2 months was extended 3 additional weeks as weather allowed for extra work until the beginning of December 2020. Additional fees for extra rental time 3 weeks is $3,384.62, bringing the total authorized for the rental to $8,871.62. Motion to pay the additional fee of $3,384.62 for the extra rental time was approved 5-0. Life Force Management. Fees for ambulance billing, EMS collections for 2021. The 2020 collection for ambulance billing was $261,561.44. The fees are $25,000 and include services for billing disputes and administrative services. Ordinance 9329, 0166, and 1005 authorize the collection fees and establish the rates. Residents are billed for the cost covered by their insurance based on level of service, basic or advanced, which involves critical care services. Motion to pay $25,000 for services for billing disputes and administrative services was approved 5-0. Field turf. Fees for assisting the city with repairs at the turf at the football stadium. Field turf will remove turf. The city will make repairs to a swale that is developed in the southwest corner near the field of play. They will return to repair the turf after city's work is complete. Fees also include one standard care visit that will rake, sweep, and brush the turf and add infill to the turf in high traffic areas. Also included are minor repairs where seams or inlay separation needs to be repaired, up to 8 minor repairs. Fees will also include a super sack or rubber infill materials for ongoing maintenance, which should last for 2021 and 2022. The city's intention is to make repairs to the field as weather allows at the end of February, beginning of March. Total cost $5,980. Motion to pay $5,980 for fees related to the field turf at the football stadium was approved 5-0. United Survey, adding $5,800 to previously approved fees for televising sanitary and storm sewers for upcoming water main replacement projects on Cromwell, Parkwood, and Bain. Previous approval granted on October 26, 2020. Extra time to clean the storm lines showed work that was charged by the day. In total for televising these streets in advance of the Cleveland Division of Water replacement of water lines in 2021 is $14,800. Motion to pay an additional $5,800 for televising sanitary and storm sewers was approved 5-0. Planning and Design Commission will meet this Wednesday, the 17th. There's 3 docket items. 22082 Lorraine Road. Review a plan for exterior renovations. 22870 Lorraine Road. Review a plan for new construction. And 22255 Lorraine Road. Review a plan for signage and exterior renovations. That completes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Minnick. Councilwoman Waring.
Thank you, Council President. I have a couple things tonight. The first is I apologize if you heard my phone go off with the text earlier, but good news, there is a snow day tomorrow. So go Fairview Public Schools, right? I did want to address a couple of things. First and foremost, I wish our police and fire a safe evening tonight as they do have to work in this storm. And I also wish our service department very best of luck trying to clean up our roads. Please be patient with them. It is a difficult job and they are leaving their family tonight to go out and clean our roads. So we definitely appreciate that. Please abide by the parking ban. The worst part is when you have to go back and clean the street 2 and 3 times because somebody was parked on the street. So just reinforcing that point tonight. And then I also wanted to send out 2 thank yous to city employees. One to Liz Westbrooks, who has done a phenomenal job coordinating our diversity, equity, and inclusion interviews. She reached out to all of the candidates and asked them to sign up, and we are already at more than 50% of them who've signed up just today. So Liz, I really do appreciate your efforts on that. And the other person that I'd like to identify this week is Senior Life Director Laura Brondo. She has gone above and beyond trying to help our seniors out in getting their COVID vaccines. And I do want to just say, she was active on social over the past week, noticed that there were a lot of people complaining that they can't seem to find them, can't get them for their in-laws, for their father, mother, whoever. And I know that she has all week been working to get appointments for our residents. And I think that's going completely above and beyond what we could have asked of her. And I'm just very grateful for her dedication. So thank you to Laura and to Liz for just going above this week. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Councilwoman King.
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Berger.
Yeah, I had a question. Hey, Bill, you said there was a planning and design application for new construction on Lorraine Road. Could you read that address again?
Which one?
There's on the, you said there's an application for new construction. It was an address on Lorraine Road. I wasn't able to jot it down.
That's the old Midas on Lorraine and 229. Next door to Reggie.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, Leanne did send me those plans this afternoon, so I'm going to package that and send it. I already sent you the agenda, I believe, and the application, but she actually had plans sent today, so I'll forward that to everybody so you can have those.
That'd be great. Thank you. So I guess the only other thing is hope everyone stays warm and safe out there. This is a very serious storm coming in. So hats off to all the people that were out working all day, especially the garbage workers. I know they're not city employees, but they still picked up everything in my neighborhood. So I know everybody appreciates that. So hope everybody stays warm and safe. Thank you.
An executive session was held on Monday, February 8th for the purpose details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for a public body, public office. Disclosure of the matters discussed could reasonably be expected to jeopardize the security of the public body or public office. Right. And everyone stay warm tonight. This could be a wild one. All right, there being nothing else to come before the council this evening, the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Minnick,
Yes.
Mr. Kilbane,
Yes.
Mrs. Waring,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. Berger.
Yes.
Okay, council is adjourned. Have a nice night, everyone.
Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Night,
Good
everyone.
night, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.